my hopes up sky high, a tower to the sun. I thought the race was finally over and that I had won. I saw the finish line ahead, a future clear and bright, a quiet, steady, gentle and eternal, warming light. But the ground beneath my feet was glass, the path was just a thread, and every step I took was just a voice inside my head, lying to me, leading me to where I couldn't see, the trap that was waiting there, especially for me. I should have known, I should have seen the writing on the wall, that the higher that you build your hopes, the harder that you fall. Got hope sky high, thought the dream would come true, but it turned out to be a lie. It was never gonna come true. I got tricked and slipped into the well of despair. Now I know dreams are a false hope, a breath of empty air, and wishes are just humanity's way to cope. And I've tried, God, you know I've tried, I've prayed into the night, I've bargained with a silent sky and begged to see some light. I've chased the ghosts of maybes, I've held on to what ifs, and stood upon the edge of terrifying lonely cliffs, just hoping for a sign, a word, a single gentle breeze to tell me that my suffering was finally at ease. But the silence was the only answer that I ever knew, and the only thing that's real right now is that it's not coming true. I should have known, I should have seen the poison in the cup, that the world will always let you down when you are looking up. Got hope sky high, thought the dream would come true, but it turned out to be a lie. It was never gonna come true. Got tricked and slipped into the well of despair. Now I know dreams are a false hope, a breath of empty air, and wishes are just humanity's way to cope. I remember all the little things, the rituals of faith, a fallen eyelash on my cheek, a quickly taken breath to make a wish, a birthday candle melting on a cake, the childish foolish promises a desperate heart can make. I look back on that person, now the one who used to be, and I feel a bitter pity for the fool that was still me. He didn't know he's just a pawn in some cosmic cruel design, where every single hope he had was never truly mine. He didn't know the deck was stacked, the game was rigged to fail, and every prayer he sent to heaven was just lost in the mail. I see the world in shades of gray, the colors have all bled. The optimist I used to be is well and truly dead. He's buried in the wreckage of 1,000 broken dreams, and nothing in this bitter world is ever what it seems. I've learned to find the hidden flaw, the crack in every stone, the inevitable tragedy in being left alone. This cynicism is a shield, a heavy rusted coat, to keep my head above the water, just enough to float. I've tried and prayed and cried so many times, wishing, hoping, dreaming. For what? For a dying smile. Was that too much to ask for? A moment of relief, a single quiet chapter in a book of endless grief. I screamed into the void until my throat was raw and sore, and the echo that came back just said there isn't any more. There isn't any more hope here, there isn't any light, just the long and slow surrender to an everlasting night. Got hope sky high, thought the dream would come empty air, and wishes are just humanity's way too cold. And I'm so tired of the fight, tired of looking for a dawn in an eternal night, tired of the wishing and the hoping and the ache, tired of my own heart and all the ways that it can break. There's nothing left to bargain with, there's nothing left to say. It was always gonna end like this anyway. Crash down to reality and finally see nothing ever good was meant for me. No, nothing ever good was meant for me. Nor will it be. It will never be. Not for me, not for me. Never be. Crash down to reality and finally see it was never